to use a phrase.
Yeah. Have you seen the conversation when the older kids wanted to join the church and Robin's answer? You don't get, I think so. When Robin's like, you don't get to choose your religion. When you're 18, then you can choose your religion. Oh. I think that was that was like just getting through that purity speech. I'm like, do our followers hate us? They want us to watch this crap? It was so hard to watch that purity speech. And so, but then I have watched a couple of clips where Robin has just, like, the vileness and the anger that she spews at these children for even questioning the religion is mind-blowing to me. But I have a couple of mothers who are like that, who are like, this is what you'll do because we said so. There's very seldom free will. It's very much, you will do this because we're your parents and this is where we want you to be.
Their teachings are that we fought a war in heaven for free agency, the right to come down here and
we talk about this all the time.
Free agency. And then we get down here and we are told by our leaders that you don't have free agency when it comes to, you have the right to listen and do what the leaders tell you to do, or you're damned to hell.
Yep.
And that's it.
Those are your options.
Wait a minute. Free agency lets me learn, right? No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And so, you fought that war in heaven. You don't have that. Right. Well, wait a minute. What'd I fight for up there then, buddy?
Yeah. So. We talk about that all the time. Especially lately, my oldest son has really been going at it with his dad over religion. And his dad was like, I should have stayed more involved in your life because you are now atheist thanks to your mom. And he's like, I am not an atheist. But his dad doesn't want to hear that. His dad I don't even like calling him his dad, but he wants him to believe a certain way. And my son's like, well, what about this? Well, what about this? And he just shuts him down every time and blames me because I let my children have free will to decide what they want to do and decide what's right for them. And so I feel like it's so interesting that we are taught that we fought this war in heaven for a free agency, and then we're forced into living this way. And if you're not forced into a marriage, then it's, well, you fought in heaven for this. Now you're just going to throw it away? The guilt trips are unreal. Like, do you even realize the opportunity? Not everyone on this planet is born into this religion. You are a chosen one. You are a special one. Don't throw that away. So that happens a lot too, where you get these guilt trips that are so ginormous that you think, oh my God, my eternal salvation is about to be destroyed if I don't do this. Mm-hmm. And so that's the level of mind control that happens.
That'd be such a good book.
What?
So he says if I get some golden plates, peer through the hat, and he can write it, and it'd be the Book of Corey.
Book of Corey.
Such comedy.
No. Somebody says watching Robin speak
nefarious comedy.
Nefarious comedy. Watching Robin speak to her kids makes me uncomfortable to watch. It makes me uncomfortable too because I remember being spoken to like that my whole life growing up. It was so hard to watch.
It's those throwbacks of it's almost post-traumatic stress syndrome.
It feels that way.
Us growing up as kids, like, just makes our skin crawl. The way that she talks with them is exactly where we chose. We're gonna do it different. We're gonna do it where we have open conversation with our kids, honesty. How do you feel? And listen to how they feel. Listen to what they're going through, because. And she doesn't. She does not listen to what her kids are actually saying. She's constantly going, how am I going to guide them back on that path?
Right.
So,
Chief Officer says Cody's been described as oblivious, not consciously noticing or acknowledging what is going on. Yeah. And that is so true. And I have said this a dozen times about my own father. They get in their mind about what they want the outcome of whatever conversation to be, and that's all they see. They don't care about your own individual opinion or choice. They only want the outcome, and that's all that they're willing to look at.
The only time he's engaged is when he can see himself in the camera or in a mirror. Then he's completely engaged.
My gosh. Then he's like, oh, there I am. Oh my God.
Hi, handsome.
Well, okay, and so we're wrapping up this episode. We always tend to go so long. But Cody is...
I just did his move.
Yeah,
Hi,
where he
handsome.
gets like this smirky look on his face where he's like, I don't care about Christine. I'm not even looking. I almost guarantee you he's asking questions. He wants to find out what's going on with her, but he pretends that he doesn't. But I almost guarantee you he does. Because it's gotten his cross so much that she told him to take a hike and that she doesn't care about it.
She's so happy now.
Yeah, like Mary's over
that
here
sucks.
questioning, did I do the right thing? Should I have gotten this divorce? And so she still has that little bit of a string attached to Cody where Christine's like, peace out, get out of here. I have no interest in having anything to do with you. And he feels that. So he's lost every ounce of control. Where Christine's like, peace out, get out of here. I have no interest in having anything to do with you. And he feels that. So he's lost every ounce of control that he could possibly have over Christine. And that's what pisses him off so bad. So I guarantee you he's checking in on her. He just wants to act like he's not on TV because then he doesn't want to look uncool. And so, okay, all the cake thing, we're skipping through all of this. We're almost to the end of this episode. I love that Christine says everything with David is just easy. There's not all of this drama that's happening. Like, they make their decisions.
Well, she's learning how to ask and
Right.
connect with a partner where Cody was never present to connect with. She just did stuff where she communicated
Right.
with other wives of what they were doing. So that's awesome.
Yep. And
So this is the difference between monogamy and polygamy. Yeah, is you would go to your polygamous husband for righteous guidance or stuff like that, but running the household, taking care of the kids, changing diapers, yeah, that's all on you. and
Yeah.
your sister wives.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I love to watch our boys and how connected they are and how they're connected. Like, we went to a restaurant with our son the other day, and our 5-year-old granddaughter was like, the waitress looked at my daughter-in-law and said, what does she want to eat? And my son jumped right in and gave her a complete order for the 5-year-old because he's actively and fully engaged as being a father, where those are not the important things to polygamous men. They're just not. They have bigger, better, important things to do.
They got to study the gospel and do all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Sheen Bright, thank you for that comment. You are a Saturday's warrior. How many times were we told that? In the AUB, we actually did that play several times for Saturday's Warrior, and we were encouraged to watch that show all the time when the church produced it. It is so true. You came to this earth in the 11th hour before Christ is coming back to the earth. And so it's absolutely, Corey's got to duck out ever so often with his nice cold. But yeah, somebody says, what do you mean you fought in heaven? So in the Mormon religion, it's taught that there was a war in heaven before we came here to this planet, and that we all fought for the right to have free agency to choose what it is we wanted to do. If we wanted to follow Christ, if we didn't want to follow Christ, if we wanted to follow Lucifer's plan. So there's this whole big thing. You can Google it I'm sure that there's a YouTube video on it that will teach you about, the war and the pre-existence. So we were taught that we were one of the more righteous ones, and we were one of the more loyal ones to Christ. That's why we were blessed to be born into polygamy, is because we were the ones that had those, the most worthy, valiant spirits is what I was looking for.
And in the war in heaven, Christ supposedly said free agency is the way to go. Lucifer was like, no, let's force everybody to do what's right. And so then I just questioned the leadership of the AUB and my own parents on, I feel like I'm being forced to do what's right. Whose plan are we...
kind of goes against
whose
everything
plan
we
are
fought
we running
for.
with down here? So
Right.
This is where I was a rebellious child.
Right. I think it's so funny. And so that was, as we're seeing previews for next week where Cody is like, I need to know that God was my wingman. That sounded so stupid to me. I don't know why. That just annoyed me.
It's interesting here too. Yeah, I'm interested to see what next week looks like. I don't know if that's just them putting in good taglines, but if he's like, I want to make sure that that nobody can get between you and I, Robin. Well, I'm sorry. That's probably why he's left the AUB, because God and God's spokesperson here on earth could get between that marriage. They could say, well, you're not a righteous enough man, so we're going to reassign her to a more righteous man. So that's probably why he doesn't want to be back with the AUB.
Yeah, honestly, if they were active in the AUB, there is a possibility that she would be taken away from him as a wife, and that she could be given to another man. If she chose to.
It would be guidance.
That option would be available to her, because he's fallen away so far.
Yeah, if husbands take off their garments and don't go to church and don't support and kiss the ring of
the way you say that,
the current prophet, they could have their wives
removed.
Their wives would be guided that if they stayed with him, then they would be guilty of the same crimes that he has. And so if they wanted eternal salvation, they were given a release, and they could go and find a righteous man that was still wearing his garments, kissing the ring, and attending his church meetings and paying his tithing. So
one of the very first articles they have in the Mormon church, they have articles of faith. These are what we believe in. And one of the very first ones is, we believe in being subject to our own sins and not for Adam's transgressions. So we're not going to be blamed for someone else's sins. Yet in the AUB, if your husband takes off his garments, if he does anything, and you are a wife and you stay with him, you're guilty of the same sin. So they contradict each other all the time. One minute they say you're not guilty for anyone else's sins. The next minute they say, well, if you choose to stay with this man. I think that's just how they wife swap.
Yeah. It gives that wife permission, especially if she's wanting to stay loyal to her beliefs. And so I don't know if Robin's loyal to her belief for the AUB, there could be a chance that she could be granted a release, and if she chose to take it, she could go be put into another righteous man's family.
Yep. And so there's a lot, like, out of my dad's 8 wives, only 3 of those women were originally his. The other 5 were married to someone else before. So it's very common. Someone says, when an abused woman finally leaves, she will often question if it's the right thing to do. It's very true. I questioned it for years. I went back so many times because I did question if it was the right thing to do. I had small children, though.
Yeah, it's not even... It's everybody that has been born and brainwashed or raised with this dogma our whole childhood that you go to hell if you leave. So you're making that decision based on what we can choose not to believe that. That's awesome, you know what I mean? But that's what you have to go through, that process of unlearning everything that we were...
Deconstructing everything.
Most of everything that we were taught as children.
Yeah, so. Somebody says, if you have the choice, why is there so little choice in practicing the religion in this life?
I know.
That's the question we ask all the time. And it makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's like, and if they don't want to force you to do it, that's the next best thing, is you fought in heaven for this, and now here you are, one of the choice. Somebody did say, do they believe in the 144,000 like Jehovah's Witnesses? Yes, I was taught that my whole life, that we would be one of the 144,000 that come into the last days. Someone says, this is how I got out of Mormonism too. I mean, yeah.
The contradictions of all of their beliefs, they constantly contradict.
Yeah.
If you studied their stuff, it contradicts itself over and over and over again. So you're confused about the religion itself.
Absolutely.
I was. It didn't make sense to me. When I asked questions, they didn't have the answers. So I chose, okay, I'm going to choose not to. I'm not going through your temple. I'm not going to have more than one wife. I'm not going to do all this stuff.
Yeah, it's
Thanks,
very
Renee.
true. Off show, we know that Cody has, thank you, Renee, has had a few dinner visits with Truly and Isabel. I wonder how those visits go. I'm sure that they're very surface level, because what do you talk about when you don't see each other very often? But I don't know. I mean, I'm good for him for at least having those. kind of conversations and dinners. Grandma Lo says, but are the AUBs the one true church? Well, there you go. That's the question now, isn't it? They believe that they are, but those of us that have left really struggle with that. We don't want to, I don't believe that's true at all. And that's one of the hard things that my dad, now that he's the prophet, that's one of the really hard things that he has with me speaking out is like, how can you respect me as the mouthpiece for the Lord on this planet when, you've said some of the things you've said about me. And I'm like, that's pretty presumptuous that you think I respect you in that position. As my father, I love him, but in that position, I don't respect that position. I don't believe in that position. I'll get some flack. I'll get some flack for that comment. Yeah. Let's see. Go ahead.
Isn't it one of the traits or of a cult is that they are the one true, and it's us
versus them mentality. So I did a whole.
So name me. I mean, if your church doesn't teach that you're the one true church, then that's cool. But most of them that AUB said that they were the one true church. When I went over and was part of the LDS church, they said that they were the one true church. So
yeah, and I did a whole
every church
podcast.
I've seen is one true church.
Yeah, there's like 1 million one true gods. So over on YouTube, I posted a whole video about cults and us versus them mentality and how that mentality is reflected, and that's exactly what the AUB does. I read somewhere that it was a mutual separation between Cody and the AUB. I've said that a dozen times, that I think it was very mutual. The AUB was just as happy to see him go as he was to leave. Let's see. How did they get away with not going to church for so long? I think that they, I can see Robin trying to have some level of scripture reading or something like that with her children, but they need community. They want community. Her girls want community. Is Mel still looking for her garment wearing righteous man? No, I'm pretty good with this one.
No.
I definitely don't want to go back into that. That was horrible. Let's see. What happens to Cody's planet? Does it disappear or is it given away too? Very, very,
Thanks, Renee.
That's hilarious. Thank you, Renee.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Let's see.
We're almost there.
Because women or children are seen as property, yeah. Why am I in trouble for something a man did? That's a very good question. Thank you, Chief Officer. Yeah. So when I left the polygamous group, I took off my garments and left before my ex-husband did. And he was furious with me. And so his comment to me, I'm like, well, you don't have to leave if I leave. And his comment was to me, well, if I can't get my wife to obey and do what she's told, then I'm a joke. And so that's how he justified leaving, was because I was disobedient. And so, but Thanks. You're taught that these relationships are individual between you and God. And so he definitely tried to blame me for him falling away from the church because I was disobedient at that time. Grandma Lo says, so many choices. I mean, there's how many heavens have we heard about on this planet? Like, every church has their own heaven. Thank you for what you do. I enjoy watching you better than Sister Wives. Thank you. There's moments where I'm like, I was never going to comment about Sister Wives on my channel. I know I've said that a dozen times. And there's moments where we're watching this show that I'm just like, oh my God, this is exactly why I was not going to comment about this show. Because now I feel like we need to at least finish out this season. But oh my gosh, sometimes it's like, I'd rather go get a root canal. It would be more fun. And I love all these. I mean, I love Mary and, they're wonderful people. I have nothing against them. It's just the editing of the show or whatever. And let's see. Oh my gosh, let me catch up. No, somebody says, I'm confused. Are you for or against the religion or any religion? We are highly, highly against polygamy.
Organized. Yeah.
Or any organized religion.
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to come between you and your maker, I have a hard time with that. And so I don't subscribe to any church that says, if you follow me and I'll get you to God. Mm-hmm. Or I'll speak to God for you. That's what I don't believe in. Were you taught about outer darkness? Yep. I was also told I would go there because I went through the temple and received my endowments and my garments, and then I took them off and left. So I was told that I would be in outer darkness for that sin, or I would be in the lowest level of the the Mormon church believes in 3 levels of heaven, and in each one of those levels there's another 3 levels, and I would be in the lowest level of the lowest level as a servant to somebody else because I left. Corey, Heavenly Father doesn't want smart followers, just followers.
Thank you, guys. You hit the target. I appreciate
Oh, we hit
that.
our goal.
Yeah,
Thank you.
guys are
I didn't even know
awesome.
Corey had put a goal. So yeah, we're going to try to answer some more of these questions. We are, love your content. So informative. Nice job on the roses, Renee. Thank you guys so much.
you
We
guys
really
are
appreciate the
awesome.
support. Any religions are social control mechanisms that humans have created to foster social cohesion. I absolutely agree with you, Kelly. I have no interest, and I don't want my children to subscribe to that either. If they do,
Thanks, guys.
if they do go to a religion, I'll support that, but I will do everything I can to say, hey, when anyone tries to insert themselves between you and your maker, rethink that decision is the way I look. And that's why my ex-husband has such a hard time, that he shouldn't have abandoned his children. He should have stayed in their lives, because he did ultimately abandon them and leave. Because I did such a horrible job at keeping them in tune with the gospel, which I'm okay with. I'm okay being blamed for that.
My dad probably appreciates outer darkness because it's quiet out there with as many kids and wives as he had.
Oh my gosh. Somebody says, well,
Peace and
we'll all get
quiet.
some good eternal sleep in our outer darkness. Oh my gosh, that's so true. Why the garment? So the garment is something that when you're going through the temple ceremony, and there is a bunch of YouTube videos on this. You can just go, throw in a question into YouTube. There's dozens, hundreds of them probably. But it's basically the temple ceremony goes through what the creation of the world. And these are meant to be clothes that you put on your body that go straight against your body. So you wear your underwear over the top of them, you wear your bra over the top of them. They're meant to go straight next to your body. And they're a reminder of the promises that you have made to God during that temple ceremony. And they're a reminder to always keep that in the forefront of your mind. And they're supposed to be a protection against this mortal world.
Spiritual bulletproof vest.
There you go. That's the best way to put it. A spiritual bulletproof vest. And so,
The buffetings of Satan.
yeah. And so if you are starting to fall away, like so many people, you'll hear stories of, everyone will give a story like, I was in a car accident and the only part of me that got burned were the parts of my body that didn't have my garments on them. The rest of my garments kept my body safe. So you hear that a lot too. Let's see. My maternal grandmother told me that there's more than one path to God, so I've always questioned churches. Good for her. Oh my gosh, I love that she taught you that.
Each one of our experiences are unique.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if Cody's kids have explicitly said they don't want contact. I've heard that some of them have. I'm just based on their own social media pages. I know on a couple of episodes ago, Maddie said that she has gone no contact. Let's see, because if they accidentally respecting the boundaries, if they have, he's accidentally respecting the boundaries, but only on accident. Very true. Yeah, very true. Let's see. So we're actually going to wrap up our live a little bit earlier tonight. Sometimes we go almost 2 hours, but we have a family thing going on tonight. So we're going to wrap it up a little bit earlier. Corey's smirking.
that was actually pretty.
What is it?
He just said when you had your altercation with your ex, Corey was better protection than your garments.
Oh, isn't that true? Yeah, I had a physical altercation with my ex. Well, he had tried to have one with me.
Yeah, but she'd taken her garments off by then, too.
And that's why he was able to get to me, because I took my garments off. And so,
He'd have been knocked down.
yeah, and Corey jumped right in and handled business real quick.
So I guess I was her garments
Yeah.
by that time. So.
Yeah. And so, but we are still trying to grow our channel on that other platform. So if anyone feels, I have a link in my bio that has all of our social media. Yeah, our link tree has every way that you can watch us over there. We are actually in the process right now of filming some podcasts. Mm-hmm. So we will be posting those here very shortly on that YouTube channel. So if you guys want to subscribe to that, feel free to do that. And then we have a goal of hitting 10,000 followers by the end of the year. But the link tree is in my bio. Yeah. Oh boy, save that garment pickup line for Mel later. So someone says
I'll
what?
be your protection.
Yeah, somebody's-
You're bulletproof.
Thanks, love. You're so good to
spiritual
me.
bulletproof.
So somebody says what platform? Yeah, it's everything's in my link tree. I'm not supposed to say them live, which I just did, and I'm not supposed to on TikTok. We can actually get our live privileges suspended if we send people off platform. So yeah, if you want to, the link tree is in my bio. Feel free. So think Briley says, have a great night with the family. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Some of Corey's family's down from Montana, so we're gonna go and visit with them. But thank you guys so much. I'm going to be posting a bunch more TikToks here. It's been a crazy Christmas season already. And so we're going to get to more. We'll be going live a couple more times this week, so watch for that.
Yep.
And then if anyone has any questions, please shoot me questions on any of my videos that I'm done. I've been trying to like save some of those questions and answer them at a later time. If anyone has some of those questions, we loved answering them for you. So thank you guys for helping us hit our goal tonight that I didn't even know we had, but Corey put it on there, and I love that. So thank you guys so much.
And thank you for all the well wishers to me. I am getting better and more sarcastic every day, so I appreciate all you guys.
It's been a rough 2 weeks for Corey.
All your good, positive energy coming my way, so I appreciate you guys out there.
Yeah. Grandma Lo says other platform lives. Yes, I'm scheduling those right now for this week. So you'll see those scheduled on that other platform as well. So we love you guys all. Thank you guys so much.